Hello, it is Abundant Lei 118. Welcome to my channel. I hope you had a wonderful, fabulous, miraculous day today. Thank you for joining me as we do our collective energy read. Let's see. So today I'm actually going to do the Hidden Heart Secret as our regular energy. And then I'm also going to do What's the Tea as our extra energy card. And just to give us some more clarity, I actually have a candle here today. I just felt really inspired to use my candles. I always have candles and I just have not been using them, so I wanted to bring it in. I also was cleansing my cards. I was doing some personal reads today, and so I was just cleansing my cards, getting the energy nice and fresh for you. I like to actually put my cards through the smoke and just let it kind of purify it. I'll also do it with my sage or my palo santo, depending on what I'm using, just to kind of wake up the energy in the cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. Oh, almost forgot. I shook it up right before I got on camera. My protection mist, which you can get from Jalissa's messages. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on. I still have to, I think I have to replace the spray part. It is not, for whatever reason, it's not absorbing the liquid up the little straw anymore. I don't know why. It's done it before where it just like stops randomly. So I don't know. I guess I have to just adjust and get a new one. But either way, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that and then just replace it. Oh, sorry. Drop some cards. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that so that I can get it to spray again. I do have another bottle top up here somewhere, so I'll just do that. But anyways, what have you guys been doing today? Today I've been like super happy. I had a lot of really good, like my dreams have been really interesting, but then when I wake up I don't remember them, but they're so vivid. It's like weird to explain. My phone is going off. It's 11:11. I am Central Time, so it's 11:11 here. So even if it's not 11:11 when you are, make a wish either way. But I've just been super like energized. I've been getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I kind of mentioned that to you guys about the moon and how it like shifts you. It's also a big shift coming if you've been paying attention with Pluto, as Capricorn is in its final. It's like it's doing his final hurrah from, it started in September, it will end November 19th, but it's its final transit into Pluto. After it finally leaves, we will have Aquarius in Pluto for several years. And it's a big shift, right? Because the thing about Pluto is about personal power. It's about feminine power. It's the dark feminine energy. So it's about embracing the attributes of self that are sometimes hidden to you, right? It's the ruler of Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio sun. So it gives us this very powerful, no, sir. Go back there. Go back over there. No. My dog is hearing people and he's trying to come over here and start barking. No. So it's just a very beautiful powerhouse energy that comes in and no. It gives you this overhaul energetically of like finding the right energy for yourself, right? Understanding your own personal power, understanding how the things that you have maybe criticized yourself for and felt made you weak are actually what make you strong, right? You know, a lot of times we thrive in what we consider the light aspects of ourselves, and we forget that the things that are considered our darker aspects are actually typically our protection methods. They're the things that helped us when we were in difficult times or when we, get confused or lost. So anytime there's a shift in that Plutonian energy, it's about grasping and taking that deep emotional dive into the understanding of who you are and how those aspects actually are there to make you a better person, right? If you can master the parts of yourself that you're the most afraid of, no one else can ever have power over you because you know what your limitations are, you know what your boundaries are. Capricorn is an energy that's very taxing, right? Capricorn is naturally ruled by Saturn, so it's a very strict, very paternal, father-esque energy that comes into like something like Pluto, which is very about like those deep emotional dives. Capricorn doesn't want to go that deep. Capricorn is like, I want to be planted. I want to be rooted. I want to be stable and sturdy. I want things to spark off and go fast. Pluto is about security, it's safety, right? It's that fixed energy. It wants to sit in it. Capricorn doesn't want to do that. Okay, Capricorn is like, I want to get in there and get out, right? That's initiator energy, right? That cardinal energy. I want to get in and get out. It can't. So now it's in there, it's fixed in there, it's putting roots into it, but it's not actually doing the emotional deep dive, right? It's more like it's planning itself, but it isn't really sure how to maneuver here. Do I think that Capricorn is not thriving in Pluto? It is thriving, but it is challenging Pluto's own structure. It is the destruction of those things that are those, it's the breakdown, right? The breakdown of the parts of ourselves that we have tried hard to ignore or to just skate over, right? The parts of ourselves that actually help us through our dark times. And so with Pluto being, having Capricorn in there for this final hurrah, it is that final cleaning out, because that's the beauty of having these two energy houses, right? Saturn wants to come into places, and Saturn wants to organize and restructure. Pluto is power. It is a restructure of power. That's why we see all these things with like people like P. Diddy, and a lot of these other, powerhouses, people, especially these masculine energies that have had power, but use their power in a form of manipulation, right? Pluto, sorry, not Plutonian, but Pluto is a feminine energy. Okay, Saturn is more masculine, even though Capricorn is a feminine energy, but Saturn is not. Saturn is a very grounded masculine energy, sitting in a very, spiritually in-depth feminine energy space. And so it's this clashing of the masculine and the feminine, of how the masculine has, tried to almost force the feminine energy to stick and follow by rules that sometimes have been unfair, have been kind of restraining. It's making the feminine not explore the aspects of self, that give the feminine power. Because again, Pluto is feminine power. So it's, where has there been these constructs where the structure was built and supported the destruction of feminine power, okay? And now we're coming out of that. So starting November 20th, which is actually one of my brother's birthdays, we are finally stepping into this beautiful embracing of feminine power. The feminine has found her voice again, and she's found her voice through Aquarius, which is a masculine energy in this space, right? It's a masculine energy in this space. But because Aquarius is a fixed energy like Scorpio, it's just a mental fixed energy. It's a more familiar energy. So it's still masculine energy sitting in a feminine place, but instead of it being a masculine energy that's coming in and is, trying to destroy the structure, Aquarius is another energy that is into the deep dives, not necessarily the more spiritual side, but definitely more of the outside the box thinking space. So for Scorpio, it feels good. It's that power energy, and not just for Scorpio, but for Pluto, it feels good. It feels like thinking outside of the box. I'm diving deep emotionally, and I'm challenging the way that I think things should be. I'm challenging the way things should go. There's a beautiful challenge and culmination of allowing your thoughts and your emotions to come together, to merge, and then to fix themselves, right? There is going to be some pulls and ties there, and I really want to highlight that for our more fixed energies, but I don't see it as a negative. I actually see this, because it's in the fixed energies, this energy feels good for Pluto. Even though, again, it is slightly different and it is a more mental version of Pluto, but it's the feminine learning how to think differently about the way that she expresses herself, because we also have to acknowledge the fact that Aquarius is an energy about outward expression. It's our humanitarian energy, right? It's working with others and building community and all these beautiful things, this self-expression. It's dealing with things like technology. So the feminine has found her voice, and she's able to express herself in more public domains, and gather in people with like mindsets that are outside of this box of normality, and yet she feels safe, and she feels secure, and she feels supported by the masculine rather than more challenged by the masculine. There will still be challenges, because we all know, if you've ever dealt with Aquarius can be one of those energy that definitely likes to challenge the people around them. So it is a challenge, but a very different one for Pluto that feels good, one for Pluto that feels like, yes, you're asking me difficult questions, but not questions I don't believe I can answer, and also not questions that I feel are, you know, are restricting me. Instead, it's like Capricorn came in to clean out all the chaos that has been going on. And then Aquarius comes in and it's like, okay, now that we've come out of that chaos, let's brainstorm. Let's get in here. Let's have fun. Let's just go in and let's try some new things. Let's think differently. Let's build differently. Let's express differently. Let's use our social realms. Let's use ways where we can interact and we build partnership and we grow with others to express ourselves. There's going to be a huge influx of more people using more AI-based social, more talks about aliens, more talks about all the things that people tend to keep under wraps and don't want to deal with. We're going to express those things and go more in depth with it and connect to it. One second, guys. My daughter was making some weird noises, so I was pausing to see what was wrong with her. But she's not saying anything, so I'm going to keep going. Had a card come out. Ooh, I already like it. All right, so let me go ahead, and then I'm going to grab my 3 cards. I already like the card that came out. It's a card I haven't seen yet. I tell you guys all the time, I'm still getting used to my decks. Oh, I did not mean to flip that, but it's there anyways. So 2 and 3. I'm going to move that over just slightly. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to move my candle down here. And then I'm going to move this here. Like so. Let me make sure you guys can see that. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Bottom of the deck, we have cloudy judgment, illusions, unbalanced, distorted. So collective, where are you feeling still a little cloudy in your thoughts and your feelings, right? What is it that you're not seeing, that you're not feeling? I'm going to go ahead and grab this deck out while I'm putting that up. That way I don't have to grab it later. But collective, where are you feeling that energy, huh? Where are you feeling that there is a lack of understanding or just feeling confused? This is not going to last long. I can tell you that now based off of just the 2 cards that have already come out. So if this is something that you have been dealing with the cloudy judgment, right? Feeling like you're not making the right decisions, or that the decisions you're making are maybe one-sided, or you just don't have enough information, don't worry. That is going to come through very quickly and change for you, okay? Because I can already see that. So first card that came out for us is clarity, truth, intentions, and honesty. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm not sure what you're trying to do. I stepped away so I can talk to you. I'm trying to understand what's wrong. What's wrong? What's wrong? Huh? The smell from the incense? What's wrong with it? You don't like it? That's okay with you. It's not hurting you. I don't know your problem. You might tell me or anything. I was just telling you go in the back so we can talk. You know? Get your phone and then come chill in here, okay? All right, sorry about that, guys. Mommy duties call. I have a 6-year-old, and it is the weekend, so the smell of the incense, I use a different incense than I normally use, and so the smell, I think it triggered her just a wee bit, and that's okay. So she just needed a moment, so I took her in the back so we could talk. So I do ask your pardon for the little break there. Back to what I was saying, but there is some clarity coming in. So that's why I told you guys, if there is this cloudy judgment, it won't be here long. There is a lot of honesty about to come through. Also, I mentioned in my kind of channeled energy about exposure, right? About things being like people using AI or using technology or like, you know, more social types of media and things. And then here we have a camera. So again, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the clarity that people are needing is going to be documented. So if you're looking for the answers you need, it either is already documented or you're going to be the one to document it. Therefore, you're going to provide the honesty and the truth and the clarity that others are seeking. So anywhere where there's a feeling that there's some cloudy judgment, I tell you, that you'll be able to find what you're looking for. You'll get the answers that you need, and it'll be something that is something you can review on multiple times, okay? Our next card we have is realization. So epiphanies, understanding, and awakenings, light bulb moment, right? And not only is it, so we see our personal light bulb, it's kind of giving me that image of like stars, right? We have our own understanding and our clarity that comes to us through our own light bulb moments, but again, it's going back to that social thing I was talking about before with that Aquarius energy, right? Even though that won't really fully come through until November 20th, I think this is where you're going to start to feel like you're going to get the answers that you need to all the questions that you have, okay? Pardon me. So as you're awakening to things and you're starting to have a more clear understanding, so are other people. And so this is going to tie into exactly what I was saying about people in communities with like mindsets, right, are finding each other, right? And all of that is coming in through the documentation. We're documenting everything now, right? So things that were in the past, if someone said, oh, so-and-so did this to me, a lot of times there was no proof. There is proof in the pudding. Everything that people are saying can be proven because someone is always recording. So that's also a word of the wise, right? That someone could always be recording you. So be conscious of what you're saying, be conscious of what you're doing, and give yourself grace, right? If you don't know something, it's much better for you to be documented saying, look, I'm not extremely well versed in this topic or this situation or whatever this is, and then explaining this is what I do know, but I would definitely need further information before I make a set judgment on that. By you clarifying that and bringing out the understanding of saying, hey, look, I'm not saying that what you're saying is right. I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm saying I don't have the knowledge yet. And again, a big emphasis on yet, right? Because Aquarius is one of those planets that focuses on that knowledge, right? It's one of those planets that's like, I want to absorb as much as I can and learn as much as I can and bring in as much as I can. And then I want to share it with the community. So there is this element of you're going to be able to do, oh yes, guys, you're going to be able to do that. Intuition is here now, right? So in our present place, we have the card intuition, heart song, telepathy, inner knowing. Not only is your clarity and your realizations coming in through your outside sources, through the collective joining together and finding the way, but you are knowing within your heart. And I always like to mention this because this is something my daughter made me. My daughter made this for me before I ever saw this card. And the first time I saw this card, I actually was sitting at my desk, and this was sitting on my desk after my daughter had made it for me. And my daughter walked up and said, oh, Mommy, look. And she picked it up. And it's almost like a mirror of exactly that. Now, mind you, she's 6. So how did she know? right? It's that because she's just a 6-year-old. She wasn't doing it with this like, oh, mommy has a card and that's what it, she's never seen this card. I had never seen that card, so I know she had never seen the card. But it's that thing of like you're mirroring. We're all mirroring, right? We're all reflecting. We're a part of the same energy source. So we all are always tapped in, even when we don't think we are. We are always tapped into ourselves. We're always tapped into the community, to the collective, to the energy flowing within us, around us, outside of us. It's everywhere around us. And so there you do always have a knowing of something. You just may not know what you know just yet, right? And sometimes in order for you to know what you know, you have to first allow yourself to start here, right? Sometimes you have so many things moving around in your head, so many ideas, so many thought processes, just so much stuff is happening that your brain becomes kind of muddled, right? You don't know what's the right direction. You don't know what's the wrong direction. I'm here to tell you there is no right and there's no wrong. It's all your perspective. Your perspective is what helps you clear the cloudy judgment. Your perspective of it. If you believe everything works out for you, no matter what decision you make, it all works out for you, because the same clarity and understanding you're going to get is going to come to you. It just may come differently than you originally thought. I did a personal reading for myself yesterday because I have a big opportunity in front of me that I need to make a decision within the next 2 weeks. Okay. Because I know exactly what it was, I took a notebook. I did a full reading for myself, which you can purchase from me on Abundant Lei 118@gmail.com or through my pin site. But I did a reading for myself, a full read for myself, and I sat down and I got a notebook and I just channeled. I allowed myself to channel based off of what I got from the cards, and I did 2 separate ones for the 2 different decisions. Very similar cards came out in my, because I broke it down like pros and cons, and then what are the positive things I don't see and what are the negative things I don't see, and then how will this affect my financial well-being. Again, these are readings you can get on my site. But I was asking these questions, and I was so shocked that the same energies came out, but their placements moved around. The only card that didn't move was in my present position. In my pros section, I had the Hanged Man, which is a card about gaining perspective in an uncomfortable situation. So obviously having 2 choices can cause a little bit of cloudy judgment, right? What's the right way? What's the wrong way? That's what you're thinking. I had to sit down and realize by looking at the cards, all the other cards, like maybe one card was off here, or maybe it was a different card here, but the energy around it was similar. The only card that remained the same in the same exact spot, however, was that Hangman card. And that's my present energy, is me knowing that regardless of what I choose, there's going to be some bending and moving that's going to be necessary on my part, meaning I'm going to have to, either way, it's going to be slightly uncomfortable, but the growth and the expansion that I get from it is going to be different based on which decision I make. But both decisions are great decisions. And because I have a positive outlook on either decision will be great for me and my family. It's just, what ways do you want to grow and expand? It's the difference of, like, I had the Empress card in the first reading for the first decision. It was in my future position. But when I did it for my other reading, it was in my bottom of the deck. So meaning the things I can't see that's in the background working for me. So regardless if it's me stepping into my, my most divinely feminine side in the near future versus me already recognizing that I am that person, that I am in that growth season, and then going out and trusting that everything just will work out on its own. It's like, it's just a difference of where that energy falls. But regardless, I'm still able to attract in all of the abundance and all of the desires and all of the positive things that I'm wanting for myself. It's just a difference of me recognizing that energy within myself, and again, it's because one decision is things stay the same. I keep it the way it is. And so I've already established in the reality that I have now how I feel about myself, right? But possibly moving into a different situation kind of pushes back on me a little bit on the way I feel about myself, right? And so because of my own personal feelings about myself and like, am I really still this energy, that gets challenged? But then I quickly, like I said, in the near future, see Yeah, I am. I didn't stop being that person. It's just I had to shift the way that I was seeing myself because I'm in a different environment and I'm having to adjust. And I feel like that's something that's so important. It's like the clarity, the realizations, the understanding, the inner knowing of things just shifts based off of your perspective. So whatever perspective you have of any situation in your life, it's still gonna end up positive. Like I didn't see any cards that made me be like, oh my goodness, this is the worst decision I'll ever make. Both readings showed me no matter what cards I pick or which I mean not what cards, no matter what decision I pick, everything is gonna work out for me. It's just the difference of me having to trust the flow in the ebbs and gives of working with other people and allowing other people to come in and support me some, or me, deciding no, I want to keep doing things the way I'm doing them. And so either way is beautiful, either way is great, either way I still get everything that I need to be successful. It's just a difference of how I view it and then how I allow it to help me, because nothing in those readings, either of them, were bad. It was all good energy, it was all positive energy, it was all challenges, and you seeing the world differently and you getting to experience things differently. And so I get to make that decision for myself, and it gave me joy and excitement, and it helped me feel like rewarded in all of that, because I saw the truth of that energy. I saw what was coming, right? Our future card is pain. So apprehensive, afraid, cautious. Again, there is going to be some discomfort, right? When we're making decisions, or when we have things that we have to make decisions on, there is some pain when you're working through what you're understanding. Maybe there's something that becomes clear to you, and it made you feel like, oh, I'm a little nervous if I should go ahead and take this next step based off of what I saw. But I don't see that as a bad thing. I see it as, regardless of what you do, it's going to work out for you. So you're going to be fine no matter what you choose. And what you're learning is not there to hurt you. What you're learning is there to help you see the world in a very different view than what you've seen it prior to, right? It's you understanding that you can have everything that you desire. You can have the relationship, you can have the career. Everything will always be what's best for you. So if you decide to let it be that, and you let the clarity and understanding come in without judging it, right? If things start coming into you, you start to understand things better. You start to see things differently than what you thought they were. And you start to have realizations that, oh, this was not what I thought it was. This was this instead. Or this relationship wasn't what I thought it was. It was this instead. You don't have to make it a good or a bad thing. You just have to embrace it, and let it kind of pass by you un unattached, right? Not assuming, not letting it hurt you, right? Pain in the future could just be the way that you're interpreting it, okay? It's the way that you're I did have a card come out. It's the way that you're interpreting the way that you feel about it. It's the way that you're interpreting the way that it's being presented to you. And I'm going to ask that you just let it be something else, right? You let it be a more positive thing for you. Don't look at it and be fearful of it. Look at it and get excited for it. Get excited, welcome it in. Okay, so we had two cards. We had one card fall out and then one card that came through. So the card that came out was child services. So it says kids at risk of being taken or is about to, reporting something negligent, neglect. I don't know why I was saying negligent. Okay, neglect or abuse. Sorry about that, guys. And then the card that I actually pulled was wasting time, stuck, no changes, limited. Definitely. If there is some type of decision that you have to make, right? And you think that if you don't make any decision, then that's better. I'm here to tell you, the thinking that you have around this is what's going to cause you pain in the end. Okay? I'm getting from this card, maybe you're worried about the way that you're interacting, or things have been said, or whatever it is around parenting and child. Maybe the fear for you is in the way that you have parented your children, or there's children that are around you, or maybe, it doesn't always have to be that you're the one that's at risk. It could be someone around you that you know of is having some type of issue with. There's like people reporting, oh, this person did this to their child, or this person said this to their child, or something along those means, where it's like the questions of what's happening with said child is being brought up in arms. And that's kind of where it is. Maybe you're the person that's, maybe you're a professional, like a teacher, or a coach, or something in that means, where the child the child's behavior makes you feel like, something's off, right? And so you have to be the one to report it. And so maybe there's something that you saw, or maybe something that you felt, or maybe something that, whatever it is, and you feel conflicted. Maybe you feel conflicted on what to do in this situation. I'm thinking of so many cases where a professional saw something and didn't say something, out of fear that they're wrong. And so, in a sense, time was wasted, which I don't believe we can truly waste time. But in a sense, because the nature of the situation was so severe, that maybe that was the feeling. It's like there's a waste happening with the time over this matter. So someone reported, and then, or someone wanted to report and they didn't, or someone did report and they feel like you feel like that things are not moving in the way that you want them to move. But it's like, because you became aware of something, this awareness that you became of, it's painful for you. Okay, you're maybe you're scared, you don't want to ruffle feathers, or if you're wrong, the what could be happening to this family because you said something or did something, things of that nature. I want you to trust that what you're doing is the right thing. It's so much better to come to find out that, hey, the services may have been called, and then the they go, they do their, evaluation, and come to find out it's really like the parent hasn't done anything in particular to the child. Maybe it was someone external, maybe it was a coach, maybe it was a dentist, right? I'm thinking of like all those like shows and stuff like that. That's what I'm kind of seeing in my head, is where like it's a parent being accused, but come to find out it was someone who was close to the family, someone who was close to the child was the one that was actually hurting the child, and it wasn't necessarily the parents. But of course, because the parents are with the children most of the time, it goes back to the parents, right? People, you have to rule out, you have to rule out everyone, type of thing. And so it's something where like maybe it's painful for you because maybe you've experienced it. Maybe you were the child at one point that was having your trust violated, and because your trust was violated, it triggers you something deeply. It triggers you something, powerfully. It makes you anxious. It makes you worried, because you're like, I've been that person. I've been in that role. It would, and when I told, maybe no one listened. When I told, no one stepped up to help, right? Something like that, right? And so because of that, I feel like that's where that pain is coming from. This decision, if it's something to do with children, anytime, it is very uncomfortable for everyone involved, because you just don't know. You just don't know. And you would hate that you call these people, and now these people are interfering with this family's life. And truth be told, the family hasn't, the parents haven't done anything wrong. It's just maybe they were going through a tough time, or just things, or just changes happening, right? Like maybe they just had a new baby or something like that. And so, children tend to react differently to different stimuluses, right? And so the child might be feeling overwhelmed or stressed out, and thus they're showing behaviors that reflect that. And so it's kind of like, if something like that is happening, do not feel bad. Do not feel like you're wrong. Like I said, it's so much better that it's, comes to be that, they get to do their evaluation and there was nothing wrong. There was, there was no foul play in that household. The parents were actually good parents. Maybe mom was just going through a tough time. Maybe whatever it is, or dad was going through a tough time. Maybe they're going through a divorce, whatever it is. And so the children are kind of feeling the pressure of all these emotions that they don't know how to express. There's no such thing as wasting time when it comes to children. right? Doing the right thing is doing the right thing, right? You get these people there, and then now whatever support and resources this family needs can now be given to them because someone said something, right? Someone spoke up, someone challenged the, the picture there. And so you're able to actually make an impact on this family. Okay, you're actually able to help them. You're not wasting time. I promise you, you're not. And I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if something is if you feel something, right? Because we have intuition, we have clarity and realizations. You feel something, and something is exposed to you, right? Or something is just said to you, and so now you're like looking at it like, oh, okay, what's going on here? 9 times out of 10, your intuition never lies. So if you felt something or you were worried about something and something was brought to your attention, you speaking up is not the bad thing. Please do. And I know I'm kind of, beating the concept out, but it's just because I get the fear of this, right? Because you're worried that you're hurting people. But like I said, it's so much better to find out confirmation from my phone. It's so much better to find out that you brought attention to something and now the child is safe. Because if you look at here, right, this card actually has a family that looks fairly happy. So that's why I was highlighting that it might be just something happening. Something is just in particularly happening that's a big shift in this family's life, and it may not actually be foul play, because like I said, if this was a card here where it looked like something disastrous, like if they, somebody was pushing the child or something like that, or just something on the card that indicated that yes, no, this is a bad situation, I would say yes, it's a, yeah, you rush in. But I feel like it's more of just saying something, people come in, there's an evaluation done, and now if the child actually needs help, they're able to get the child to a safe place. If the child doesn't need help, instead the family gets resources and support, right? Maybe they're able to find that that the state offers psychologists or something like that to a kid dealing with like I said, maybe if the parents are getting divorced, maybe the state has free resources that the parents didn't even know existed, that they're like, hey, yeah, we'll have someone, talk to your kid about dealing with parents and divorce and how to better use and express those emotions and feelings so that it's more healthy for the family. Or maybe even the family is able to get some free counseling or something like that to help in that matter, because again, emotions are high and kids are naturally just very emotional creatures. They're supposed to be. They have all these adult feelings, right? And I'm saying this as an adult. We all have these feelings. These feelings come with us from the moment we come here, and we don't always know how to properly express those feelings. Even as adults, we don't always know how, right? Just like a moment ago when my daughter was making those weird sounds, and I kind of paused and I kind of looked over her like, just checking to see if she's okay. And then she kind of came over to me and I was like, hey, go in the back, like just go into the back room so I can talk to her. And immediately she started to cry. And as soon as we got in the room, and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, why are you crying? And she's like, she was panicking. And I'm like, we're not back here because you're in trouble. We're not back here because mommy's upset with you or frustrated. Mommy took you away because mommy's recording her video, and I can't pause it. I'm actually on my iPad, and I don't have a way to pause the video. Once I stop, it just stops. So I was kind of explaining to her, I'm like, you're not in trouble. I just really didn't understand what was going on. You're making weird noises, and I just wanted to give you space so that it's not documented on here whatever's going on with you. Maybe it's something personal. I don't want her personal business being exposed onto the social media, because once this is out, it's out. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of water, sorry guys. There you go. But I'm like, I don't want your personal business being exposed, and people that have no clue who you are knowing your personal information. I just wanted to take you away. But she was saying that the smell of the new incense that I was using was she didn't like the smell, and so it was kind of irritating her nostrils, and so it was kind of making her like make weird noises, because she's like, trying to adjust to the smell and the scent and what it was doing to her. And so she was feeling overwhelmed. That's okay. Like I wanted her to understand this was a safe space for her. This was a place for us to talk about, hey, what's going on? And I don't mind taking that time to step away and have that moment with my child. And so that's exactly where I'm getting at. It's like sometimes children have feelings and emotions and they become overwhelmed because they get anxious, right? They get anxious. Something's off with her. She's like, I don't like that smell. It's making me uncomfortable. I don't like it. And so it made her anxious. And so by me being like, hey, let's go in the room, let's go in the room, let's move away, right? Me signaling, hey, let's go in the room. She got upset that like, oh no. And I'm like, well, you're not in trouble. I want to respect your privacy. Like I said, my daughter she's 6. She's young. I want to respect her. I want her to be able to, when she's old enough, make the decision if she wants things, shared about her on social media. But the bare minimum, I'm more than willing to share. But her personal things, anything she's feeling and all that, those are things that are private. And I feel like maybe that's also something, because that's now coming in of like those families that showcase their kids on social media, right? I have no problem with someone that does it like a family vlog or anything like that. That is your business. You have every right to do that. But there is a level of respect and anonymity that should be given to children. And I just truly believe that children deserve to be, kind of kept out of the loop until they're old enough to say that they want to be in the loop, out of respect for them. And then also because then sometimes that's how that comes later, where that child feels like, oh, I was used as a child to profit or something like that for the family and things of that nature. And so it's like there's these little things that we can do that prevent us from having to go through chaos later, right? By being respectful to the fact that at this time, they're a child. They really don't understand the implications of social media and the impact social media can have on them. And so it's kind of like if it's something where like as a family you're just sharing certain things and other things like that, that's your business. I won't tell you you're right or you're wrong. I'm entitled still though to have my beliefs that I want to protect my children from social media as long as I can, so that they get a chance to have a normal childhood, right? Growing up in technology is something different and something that they're already having to be exposed to because of the time period that we live in. And so out of respect for them, I want to respect that anonymity, okay? Autonomy, I'm sorry, I'm saying anonymity, but I meant autonomy. So again, if that is what's happening and there's something there with having to do that, there's no time wasted. Do what feels right, because everything will work its way out in the end, eventually. Okay. All right. So I love you guys as always. I thank you so much for joining me. And you can again book a reading at Abundant Lei 118@gmail.com or on my pen site. It will be linked in the description below. And as always, be blessed and be a blessing. Mwah. Bye, guys.